So you can listen to us during the day and then watch us at night. How you like that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And if you want to go back in time, you can always listen to us on iHeartRadio or any number of apps that we're on. Great to have you along. Robin Davidson is Cure Pharmaceuticals CEO and Chairman of the Board of Directors. He is a longtime C-level executive in many companies in the biopharma space. He's become a friend and a regular feature here on the program because he's really uncovered what it's like to be a young company going through the biopharma space with the FDA and everything else. Plus, they're publicly traded. By the way, their stock symbol CURR, and you can go to curepharmaceutical.com. So, Rob, give us an update on where you guys have been over the last, 3-4 weeks, and then where are we going next? Because this is an exciting story, and it keeps on getting better.
Yeah, no, great. So we're advancing some of the formulations for the cannabinoid molecules. As you guys know, we have a partnership with Canopy Growth, and we're looking to launch some products probably around third quarter of this year in Canada and several other countries in partnership with Canopy Growth, utilizing our thin film technology and also utilizing some of the newer technology that we've developed and formulated over the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 months.
Hey, Rob, I have to ask you, is because of the way the federal government goes in the U.S., is it make more sense as a CEO of a public company to focus your efforts internationally for now, and then once you sort of get your chops in this market internationally, such as Canada and Australia and Japan and so on and so forth, then bring it back in full swing when the federal government's finally legalized cannabis here in the States? Is that sort of the model there, or is there another plan?
It's actually a great question. I think there's parallel models. We do work with companies, distributors, and companies like Canopy that work in territories that have federally legal mandates for cannabis as a medical product or pharmaceutical product. We are a Schedule I DEA licensed facility, drug delivery, so we do have to follow the federal regulations in the U.S. We do see some loosening of regulations potentially in the next, I'd say, 30 to 60 days. There's a big meeting with the FDA on May 31st for CBD coming from hemp. So that may integrate into foods or nutraceuticals potentially down the road. So we're looking at that pathway as well. But we do follow stringently the FDA and DEA guidelines since we are, a pharmaceutical facility. And that's why I believe, a lot of companies are coming to us saying, look, you guys have the cGMP processes, the know-how. Let's manufacture with you, develop and formulate with you, and we'll license or distribute in the territories that it's legal. So it's kind of a bifurcated process, if you will.
Rob, I have to ask you. I mean, the natural distribution point here in the U.S. for some of this stuff, including when the time is right, legally, would be the major drugstore chains, and you've been personally involved with brands such as Chloraseptic and Pediastrip and Suppress, which you see on your the CVS and Save On drugs all the time. Sure. Is that segment of the market ready for this stuff? Because I think the public is ready, and of course with you guys are tearing a hole wide open in the technology side of this thing. What about that distribution chain? Have they? Obviously, the public has changed their sentiment about this whole business now, and it's very favorable. Has the distribution chain changed their sentiment yet?
Yeah, I think so. Just recently, CVS announced that they're going to be getting into the hemp CBD market and carrying some products, in the different states that it's legal. So they're not going to distribute nationally the CBD products from hemp. They're going to put it in the state-by-state, level. In the areas that those states approve the CBD. But eventually the federal government's got to take a hard look at it. The FDA does, and say, look, people are using it now. They're taking it anyway as part of recreational, medicinal. Yeah. Let's put some controls there, and let's allow it to be distributed a more effective way and with more safeguards, quite frankly, with regulation.
Yeah, and I think part of what goes on here with you guys is that you guys have been on cutting edge here. If you look at your schedule of press releases going on with respect to what you guys are doing, it seems like somebody is recognizing you and you're able to present where you couldn't before. Talk about where you think this thing, and I know that you're the CEO of a publicly traded company. But talk about where you think this is going to be as a company here in the next 18 months, not share price wise and not revenue wise, but where you're going to focus your efforts on.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we have three verticals. We have that botanical vertical, working with different terpenes and
Sure.
cannabinoid-like molecules, and then we have the pharmaceutical vertical, which we're already working with the FDA. We did a pre-IND meeting for sildenafil thin film. Sildenafil is the generic form of Viagra. We'll hopefully be the first to put that into the marketplace. We'll enter studies in third quarter of this year. Setting those studies up. So that's exciting for us. And then in the cannabis space, I always say this, I think I've mentioned this many times on your show, I think the endocannabinoid system in medicine is the new frontier of medicine. So I think you're going to see a plethora of other pharmaceutical companies, and we're seeing it now, get involved into the marketplace on cannabinoid molecule research and endocannabinoid system. So I expect to see a lot more research and development deals in the near future for the cannabinoid, endocannabinoid side.
The name of the company is Cure Pharmaceutical. His name, Rob Davidson, the CEO. Rob, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you again in person.
Thank you.
We're going to take a trip up there real soon.
I hope so.
With the boys.
I will bring my...
Yeah, it's a fantastic
my cannabinoid collection pouch.
It really is an interesting play.